that's my fail of the week. You guys thinking that you don't have to. You know what? I quit.
Yeah, you can take your rooster with you.
Rose is acting a little cocky right now.
Oh, no.
Good one.
Oh, no.
I
No.
don't even think she heard that.
No.
ما في وقت للعب 9-1 كونتينيو يجي نار من استوديو نطني ولا لازم شولف
David Droik of the Hockey News is here. Ethan is over there, and Rose is on the University of Miami campus trying to stay out of trouble. This is the Hockey Show. You can follow us on YouTube at the Hockey Show DLS. You can go to TikTok at the Hockey Show 7, and on X, Instagram, and Threads at Hockey Show DLS. The soap opera that is the New York Rangers continues. They have lost 9 out of their last 11, and the fourth consecutive game. For the fourth consecutive game, the Blue Shirts have given up 4 goals or more, including a 10 spot against the Bruins on Saturday. It's been a disaster at Madison Square Garden.
I thought that the win for them in the Winter Classic was supposed to be like the big turning point for the Rangers when they smoked the Panthers 5-1 at Lone Depot Park, but 5 straight losses since then. They did score 4 goals the other night, but they gave up 8. Yeah, it's what have they given up? In those 4 games, they've given up, 15, 19, 27 goals in 4 games.
Wow.
How about just the 2 games where they let up 18? They let up 10 and 8 back-to-back.
30 goals in 5 games. Man.
Yeah, it's been a disaster.
They miss Igor.
Out over there in Manhattan. And it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter that they had Igor. They're still dead last in the conference, 46 points. And I have an idea. Since we haven't been doing too well with puck luck lately, okay. I got an idea, okay? We're doing the opposite of winning people money, but I have a plan. In 28 of the Rangers' total losses this season, 17 of those losses had a margin of defeat by 2 goals or more. So that's over 2/3 of their losses, right?
Okay.
In the 17 Rangers losses at home, 11 of those games had a margin of defeat being of 2 goals or more.
Okay, I think I see where you're going with this.
All right. So, again, over 2/3 of their losses. All right. So, most likely, no matter who is in the net for the Rangers, whether it's Jonathan Quick, Igor Shesterkin, or the other guy with Spencer Martin, the backup goaltender right now, most likely they're going to give up 2 goals or more. So, my plan is, my tip to everybody, bet on the Rangers' opponent against the spread for the rest of the season. Do you agree with that?
You know, the logic is sound. But here's the problem. Well, maybe it's a problem, maybe it's not. All right, here. Because our betting record, as you kind of alluded to, is not the best.
Right.
Oftentimes, we bet on something, the opposite happens. So, by doing this, are we backhandedly potentially saving the Rangers season by betting against their opponents and betting on the Rangers losing with our track record and the reverse curse that we do? We're going to bet on the Rangers, and suddenly the Rangers are going to start winning a lot of hockey games. So, if this happens, and we end up losing money on the Rangers' success, I expect whoever's in charge, James Dolan, I don't know, whoever's in charge of the Rangers, cut us a check.
All right.
We're helping you guys get in the playoffs. If this happens, cut us a check.
All right. So, also, what Dave is also saying is fade. Fade what we're talking about.
Well, either we get our bets right or the Rangers succeed. One of the two will happen if we go forward with this.
The Rangers are much closer to having the first pick in the draft right now than they would be to making the playoffs, so I don't think you're going to have to worry about.
Oh, ye of little faith in our
Getting
betting prowess, Ethan.
No,
right now they're 10 points out of a playoff spot in the Eastern Conference. They are just 9 points ahead of the last place Vancouver Canucks. By the way, have you seen the bottom of the West? Woof.
Yeah, they would have a better time in the East.
It's
than they
gross. Yeah, they would be having a lot more fun in the West than they are right now if they're in the East. But who would have thought before the year that the Rangers would be more in the running for Gavin McKenna than they would be to get back to the playoffs? I think a lot of people kind of expected they would be on the fringes. They might even bounce back and make the playoffs this year. I wasn't necessarily one of those people, but it has turned ugly fast, and it hasn't really – it's not like Mike Sullivan has provided a huge coaching bump for them because – they just can't score. And that Winter Classic you mentioned, Dave, that's looking like more of a one-off where the Panthers just kind of had a bad night, got a little caught up in the spectacle, had a bad night than the Rangers being a turning point, or even for the Panthers' sake, it being the other way for the Panthers because they played pretty well the last couple games, which we'll get to later.
Yeah, the Rangers being 5 points out of a playoff spot in the West.
Can you imagine?
If this was COVID season, it would be a much better situation for them.
Can you imagine having a 15-9-2 road record at the midway point of the season? 6 games above 500 on the road midway through the season, and you're dead last in the conference.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah, they're not gonna catch Pittsburgh.
5 wins.
They would have
in
caught San Jose probably.
23 home games.
How we doing? Oh,
Hey, Rose is here.
Rose just came back. Hey, with some. Are your eyes still puffy? Your eyes are still puffy. Eh?
no, sorry. Yeah, they're still, but it's more because I was with Tony outside and I just.
He
came
made
in.
your eyes puffy.
This job makes my eyes puffy. So what can we do?
Yeah, well, that's true. Having
Yeah.
to deal with us all the time. Yeah, sure. Let's move on to the retired numbers that have happened this week. 2 of them. One in Detroit, one in Boston. The number 91 for Sergei Fedorov has gone up to the rafters at Little Caesars Arena. And the number 33, a very famous number in the city of Boston, this time for the Boston Bruins, has gone up in TD Garden for Zdeno Chara. Now, Fedorov's Red Ring tenure did not end well. It ended in 2003. He ended up signing an offer sheet with, who was it again?
Anaheim? Did he go to
Anaheim, I believe. Yes, it was Anaheim. After 13 seasons, I mean, 13 seasons in Detroit, I mean, he is a beloved figure there. So it's good to see that all is forgiven between Detroit and and Sergei Fedorov. So his number goes into the rafters. Took him 16 years to retire his number.
Man, did you even remember that Fedorov played for Columbus? Washington?
Washington, yes. That's how he ended his career.
Yeah.
In 2009.
I had no. I'm like looking at his stats. Like he spent like 3 seasons in Columbus. Parts of 3. Like what?
It's Columbus, as you know, very forgettable franchise.
185 games in a Columbus Blue Jackets jersey, and 113 points. So
yeah. By the way, 2-time Selke Trophy winner. He was excellent defensively. Let's not forget that. Hart Trophy winner, 3-time Stanley Cup champion, Hall of Famer, and also in Boston was with Chara, a Norris Trophy winner, and got his 1 Stanley Cup. The captain, his number goes up in Boston. Talk about that for a second.
well deserved. I mean, that Boston team, that they only won 1 Stanley Cup, but that Boston team was really good for a good decade plus with Bergeron and Marchand. Nathan Horton was around back then. Tuukka Rask was he was a little eccentric, but certainly fun to watch. But no, I mean, look, for Boston team, and I know how we feel about Boston teams here in South Florida, but no, I mean, Chara was that team. Like, they're not winning without him, that scary, massive presence on the blue line, like taking 2 strides, getting from zone to zone. He really came into his own, a Hall of Fame guy. So, yeah, I thought that was well-deserved for Chara in Boston. I thought that was cool.
A lot of people give the credit for that locker room almost exclusively to Chara and that being one of the best locker rooms. And I was listening to What Chaos yesterday, and Pete and DJ were kind of talking about it and his presence and how it's contributed to the Bruins. And it seems like it's in a way contributed to what the Panthers are now, because Brad Marchand learned at the knee of Zdeno Chara and kind of saw how he ran a locker room. And a lot of the things people have said about what Brad Marchand has brought to the locker room are the things that people say about Zdeno Chara and what was learned from the Bruins. So in a way, Zdeno Chara, I think, has had a big impact on how the Panthers are right now in terms of the camaraderie that they have in the locker room.
Big Z is a prime example of what it is to be a captain. He was a Messier Award winner as well. And here's a guy that in the offseason, he came in strong. He's the toughest training hockey player, especially at that size, that anybody has ever seen. And I think the Bruins really took to that.
Lead by example kind of guy. And when you're the captain, when the spotlight's on you and you can still go out, you first guy in, last guy out kind of mentality, and then go on the ice and always have your teammates back. That Bruins team, like, that was a good personification of like a Boston hockey team. Yeah. Like, they had plenty of skill, but they didn't take any shit from anybody.
Yeah, classy guy, Big Z is. And congratulations to both Sergei Fedorov and Zdeno Chara. Let's move on to the Panthers then. The Panthers, that was a rooster. That was a rooster sound by
Yeah,
Rose.
we're mixing the Panthers with roosters because since we are all Cubans today and I became Cuban, I'm from Guatemala, so I'm becoming Cuban just for one day.
See, the Panthers are now on a 4 games into a 6-game road trip, which they are currently 2-2-0 on. They beat Ottawa and they beat Buffalo on the road, and the Panthers have actually done well against Boston in the last 10 games, but I was kind of worried about them going into Boston, but they managed the Buffalo. But they managed to do well in that game. The Panthers stopped off at the White House yesterday before going to Carolina today, and they continue to stay afloat as reinforcements come along. They also have extended the contract of defenseman Igor Shesterkin. What are we looking at here right now, and do you have any other updates on the team, David?
Well, it looks like everybody's getting close, right? And the Panthers, they made some moves. I think they're making some space on the roster. Noah Gregor, Jack Studnicka, I believe, are bound to be heading back to AHL Charlotte. Toby Bjornfot also. They're getting healthy, right? I mean, the blue line, they need to get Seth Jones back. Dmitry Kulikov will be back after the Olympics. Seth Jones hopefully before. But forward-wise, I mean, Brad Marchand and Matthew Tkachuk are like right there. They're hopefully playing this weekend. I mean, at this point, it's just like, what are we doing? They're on the ice. They're practicing. It looks like they're okay.
Yeah, Marchand had the non-contact jersey on, but he ended up participating in drills.
He wasn't on the ice for the morning skate today, per Jameson and the guys that are up in Raleigh. Tkachuk was there, but not taking line rushes, which may or may not mean anything.
Maintenance.
We'll see. I mean, look, we've talked about it ad nauseum, how this team gets so much more deadly with their depth. So adding just one of those forwards and increasing the top 6 into a top 9, basically, that's going to go a long way. So even though we're just kind of wringing our hands right now, waiting for these guys to get back in the lineup, they're right there. Florida is relatively right there. I mean, what is it, Roy? They are 5 points out of a playoff spot right now with 3 games in hand on the Bruins. So just right now, just stay close, get hot, get healthy, and I still think things will be okay.
This is a big weekend for the Panthers. These 4-pointers are so important, especially against 2 good teams from the Metro in Washington and Carolina. I thought the last 2 efforts have been a lot better. They're kind of getting used to life without Seth Jones. But also last week we saw what life without Seth Jones can be like, and it can be very difficult because the Panthers were having a very hard time offensively and defensively. They've looked better the last couple games, though. It'll be interesting to see their effort after this long kind of stretch without any games. That's why there's so much distance right now between them and the wild card teams. But I think, like Dave said, it's all about just being in striking distance at the Olympic break, coming back from the Olympic break, getting hot, getting healthy, and seeing, all they got to do is get in. And if they get Barkey back, anybody, it's anybody's guess what will happen.
Not having Seth Jones, that is major minutes lost. Yeah. I mean, that is major minutes lost. And, and offensively, he has provided basically the most out of everybody on the team from the blue line. So
he's been their best defenseman this year on both sides of the ice, on offense and on defense. And losing him has been so critical because, like you mentioned, Roy, he's had to, they don't have anybody eating those critical minutes that he eats, and it's just been difficult. They looked like a different team without him. Hopefully these last 2 games are more of a reflection of what they'll be like without him, because those looked like solid defensive efforts.
I agree. I think that we're fortunate. We talked about the depth earlier, but we're fortunate that they have an Uvis Belinstis or even a Toby Bjornfot, Donovan Sabrango. These aren't high marquee type guys, but they can come into your lineup and they can keep your team from falling apart. And that's real. The Panthers are losing all-star level players. In terms of their forwards, potential Hall of Fame type players. These are top high-end guys that are coming out of the lineup, and they're still maintaining. So again, just credit to Bill Zito and his staff for finding guys that can keep the ship afloat, because it's been a disaster of a season injury-wise, and they're still right there.
Yeah, it's just a spackling of the holes that are being filled through injury instead of the actual plugging and fixing. But it might be enough to get the Panthers into the playoffs.
Yeah, and as we know, just get in.
That's all you have to do.
If they're healthy, is there any team that you would not want to face more than the Panthers if they're healthy? What have they shown that they can do in the playoffs over the last 3 years?
Yeah, exactly. We found that out 3 years ago.
So,
Thank you to the Chicago Blackhawks, by the way.
Peter Mrazek.
It's time for Puck Luck. It's brought to you by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours. David, can we actually win money this time?
Yeah, that's the plan. Although,
Bet against the Rangers.
step one, bet against the Rangers, especially if they're at home. I know Puck Luck hasn't gone our way, but I don't know. I got a little crazy this week. I wanted to play it safe, and instead I gave you a plus 760. But let's make. But the logic is there. The logic is there. Let's go through it. We're going to take Colorado on the puck line tonight against Nashville. They lost at home Monday to Toronto, so you know they're going to be pissed. It was their first home loss since October 23rd, Roy.
Mm-hmm.
Today's
been a while.
January 16th.
been a while.
So Colorado's going to be a little bit pissed. They've had 4 days to stew on it. Nashville is in trouble. So Colorado on the puck line. We're also going to take Marty Nietzsche in that game, over 2.5 shots. He's hit that over in 3 or 4 overall in 6 of his last 8 on home ice. I like Marty Nietzsche to light up Nashville tonight. Nashville also gives up about mid-range shots on goal. Dylan Larkin. San Jose has given up the second most shots in the NHL, and Dylan Larkin has gone over 2.5 shots on goal in 3 of 4 and in 14 of his last 19 home games. So I'm taking Dylan Larkin over 2.5 shots. And then to add a little sauce to the parlay, we're going to take Tampa on the money line at San Jose. Tampa's won 11 straight games overall. They're playing suffocating defensive hockey. St. Louis overall isn't exactly a high-scoring team. Vasilevsky's probably in net tonight, so I'm liking Tampa. All those combined, plus 760. Please, let's make some money tonight.
Okay, it is time for the hockey stat of the week, Rose. You are currently playing with my daughter.
Yeah, I'm gonna show you what I'm teaching your daughter. Come
Yeah,
on,
Roy,
Jason,
you
just put it up there.
Roy, you forgot to mention the most important guest that's in studio
Yeah.
today.
We have Claire. No, but put it in Roy. Look at that. Rose is the best. Then you have the chickens. Then you have the Claire show, bro.
The Claire Show.
Yeah, so-
Starring Roy Bellamy.
This
Yeah,
is the
sorry.
Claire Show, by the way. That's the title of today's episode.
Why? There's a sun. There's a sun on my face.
Yes.
Okay. All
Oh,
right.
your daughter
You look
sees you
very
like
bright.
that, so thank you very much.
What just happened? The music just
I
faded
don't
out.
know.
Anyway, go ahead, Ethan.
Hello, gentlemen.
Well, we were talking to you.
Hello.
Welcome back
We're
to
just
the
talking
hockey stat
to
of the
you.
week. Thank you. Hi.
All right, fine.
Missed you. All right. This comes from Jack Michaels,
I
the
did.
Edmonton Oilers play-by-play announcer, one of the greats in the game. The Oilers lost 1-0 to the Islanders last night. It broke Connor McDavid's 20-game point streak. He had 46 points in those games. However, the more interesting stat from that loss is that this is the first time the Oilers have been shut out at home by the Islanders since Billy Smith shut them out in Game 1 of the 1983 Stanley Cup Final.
See, that's a miss right there. That should have been a trivia question for us.
Well, they play.
I guess so.
They play the Islanders once a year in Edmonton. So
Yeah,
in
but
Edmonton,
that's still 43 years that they haven't been shut
There
out.
have been some
since.
good goalies that have played for the Islanders, potentially in Edmonton over the. I mean, just off the, I'm thinking like DP, Felix Potvin. Like they've had some decent goaltenders that can pull a shutout.
yeah, that is true. But 43 years is
That's insane.
And that's including the playoffs as the Stanley Cup final.
That's
Rosie?
insane.
Are you happy about the Islanders doing that, or because you go against the Islanders?
I am not happy about
Okay.
the Islanders doing that.
I'm
and
not
I
happy
will never
about
be
the
happy about
Islanders
their success,
shutting out
especially this guy.
But they shut out Edmonton. That's
Yes,
good.
and I needed Edmonton to win. I had like a 7-leg parlay last night,
Oh, we're
and that
back
was
here.
the only leg that missed.
You should stop betting because every time you bet,
This
missed
is
the
a
beginning
great
of the
call.
show.
This is a great
Wow,
call.
that's a mean thing to say.
Thank you, Rose.
oops, sorry, no, I am the same. So same
Okay.
here.
All
She's
right.
telling the guy who's at the sponsored betting segment on our show to stop betting.
I mean, that is a good point. It's sponsored, so he actually has to do it. All right. It's time for Rosa in un minuto. Rosie, please play the music. Please. Music. And voices.
And voices. Okay. So today I don't have a team because you know what? I forgot my team. So what I'm
Oh.
gonna give you is a recap of what I did in the week. So do you know? Look at Claire. Yes, she's giving me the energy. It's all about the Canes, and right now I'm rooting for Mendoza. So people are really against me. But you know why I'm rooting for Mendoza? Because everybody's rooting for the U. So why go with everybody? I will always go where nobody goes. So that's why I'm going with Mendoza. That's my bet, and let me be. My grand is a bet, so don't hate me. Thank you very much. This was less than a minute with Rose about the Canes, not the Hurricanes. Carolina Hurricanes, but the Canes here in Miami, if you know them.
All right, that was apparently Rose in a minute. Now it is time for Rosa en un minuto. Can you do that in Spanish, please?
Bueno, pues,
Roy Bellamy.
hijos, les voy a contar que ahorita se van a enfrentar Mendoza y los Huracanes, pero la verdad es que yo le voy a Mendoza y todo el mundo está en contra de mí porque la verdad es que yo le voy a Mendoza porque todo el mundo está con la U y ¿para qué le voy a ir a la U si todo el mundo le va a la U? Ese es mi beat. Entonces, Mike Ryan está enojado conmigo, pero ¿qué podemos hacer? Déjenme hacer yo y además tengo un rooster, entonces más bonito y sí, eso es, porque si ustedes conocen a los Huracanes, pues ya sabrán.
Okay, that's that. There you go. Rosa en
Do you guys want to know the Spanish sayings I learned from Rose this week?
Not really.
Yes, please.
All right, go ahead.
No,
go ahead.
I'm not going to do it.
Oh, you're not going to do it?
No,
You
no.
coward.
We have to get the bleeps out.
Then
and I don't
I'll
want to
say
do
it.
more work.
You don't
I
have
don't
to
want to
bleep.
do
You
any
don't
more.
have to
Tomar
bleep the
por-
Spanish words.
Culo.
Oh, maybe you have to bleep that one. Actually, you probably have to.
That's why I was a tomar por ti.
It's.
Me cago en la ti.
Oh, yeah, you gotta do that at the
No,
end.
you
too?
bleeped the wrong word. You bleeped leche, not.
You bleep milk?
Yeah,
en la leche.
she goes, me cago de beep.
No, well, there you go. It's time for wins and fails of the week. Dave, what you win?
Abby Murphy.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah.
Abby Murphy is my win of the week. She's getting ready to light it up for Team USA at the Olympics. She's right now been lighting up the NCAA for the Minnesota Golden Gophers. She scored an assist.
Assisted.
Yeah,
she
assisted.
scored an assist. No, right, she scored the assist.
She earned an assist
It was like a Sasha Barkov type play.
against the Rangers, yeah.
She flicks the puck up in the air, and then just as the defenseman reaches for it, she knocks it back down on the ice through
Nutmeg.
the defenseman's leg.
Nutmeg.
Reaches out with one arm to corral the puck as it's going away from her, and then flips her wrist and sends a perfect pass across the crease through another defenseman's stick leg hole, the triangle, the Dorito, right to her teammate. Who was it? It's Bella Finale.
Yeah.
And scored this great goal. So I don't know. I'm just excited to see Abby Murphy in the Olympics. I'm happy for what she's doing with the Gophers, and that was just so
That
sick.
might be the greatest individual play I've ever seen.
Yes.
That is so nasty what she did. I
was
can't even.
quite
I still can't believe it. I've seen it 100 times this week.
You know what else that's called? Bad defense.
Really?
I think
come on, man. What you gonna
I
do?
think there's no
What else
defense.
can you do?
There's
What
no
else can you
defense
do?
for that kind of play, dude. There's no defense for that. That was unbelievable.
On Saturday, prior to the Red Wings Canadiens game, James Van Riemsdyk showed up to the Bell Center, and I repeat, the Bell
Centre
Center.
Bell.
No, goddamn it, is the Bell
The
Center.
arena is called Centre Bell.
The
When you
arena
go
is
to the
called
arena. It
the
says
Bell Center.
Centre Bell.
It's the Bell
outside.
Center.
Centre Bell.
Don't hand me the metric system, all right?
No.
James Van Riemsdyk showed up to the Bell Center wearing a Batman costume.
Batman.
And the reason why he showed up to the Bell Center wearing a Batman costume is because he wanted to celebrate his son's 4th birthday. And it was a gesture to his son, Liam. So, Liam, there you go. Your dad is a superhero. All right, Ethan?
My one of the week, guys. This is one of we talked about maybe the greatest goal I've ever seen, greatest individual skill play. This might be the greatest hockey video I've ever seen. This comes from the Hershey Bears minor league game, the Mighty Mites game in the intermission. This has been everywhere this week. It was on the Le Batard Show. We talked about it. Look at this scrap between these kids just coming in. My favorite part is the two kids on the same team that start fighting each other for no reason. Just an
goaltender.
absolute
they were having
mayhem right here. The goaltender walking around, just head hunting. I mean, this
goalie's
scrap
throwing
is
haymakers with his blocker.
amazing, dude. This is what every kid dreams of, right? Is going out on the ice and just scrapping. Like, yeah, sure. Scoring a goal in an NHL arena, fine. Dandy. That's great. Bunch
Dandy.
of kids have done it.
Wow.
How many kids have gone out there and just gone to war with each other?
Am I
That
crazy
was
for
awesome.
wanting to normalize this. I want kids across 2 nations to see this video and say, next time I'm on Mighty Mites at the Pepsi Center or wherever,
And the Pepsi Center.
whatever that's called now, Ball Arena or Joe Louis, Little Caesars. What? God, I'm
You're
Little
old.
Caesars,
That-
Ball
you're
Arena.
old.
Yep. You got there. You got
Nassau
there.
Coliseum.
No, they don't
Meadowlands.
play that anymore.
Next time the kids are on the ices that don't exist anymore. No, but seriously, can you imagine if that became like a thing? And every time kids did this, they're just like bleep scoring goals. I'm gonna go out and level somebody. I'm taking that kid's helmet off.
Yeah, the other goaltender, you need to back up your team, man. What are you doing?
Right? Like that one goalie was like flying, and like where come on guys. But no, seriously, that was cool.
Rose, do you have a win this week? Did you even think of one?
Yes. Is this rooster over here?
All
Look at
right,
this,
you
look at
got a
him.
winner in that rooster. In that.
I think I'm gonna end up keeping it, and I'm gonna take it home, and everybody's gonna be like, "Where's that rooster?" Don't tell
You
me.
you gonna put it outside your door?
I don't know. It's gonna be in my room now.
Oh, okay. You're gonna sleep with the rooster.
Yeah.
I was about to say it. I was about to
I
say
am
the
not
other word for the
mature
rooster.
enough
You're lucky
for
that
this
Claire
Yeah.
is in there.
Thank you.
You're absolutely lucky that Claire's in there. David, what's your
Yes.
fail?
Oh God, the last 30 seconds. My fail earlier this week. The Oilers were in Nashville. It was a good game. It went to overtime, 3-3, and that's when Tristan Jarry did something that I generally would advise against. Roy,
Stay ass in the crease, man.
right? Well, this one didn't even make sense, and you guys are gonna have to go online to watch the video. But there's a picture right there that we're putting up on the screen. You can see Roman Josi. He's about 2 feet from the puck. Tristan Jarry is about I don't know, a mile from the puck, and that's when he decided that he's gonna go out and play the puck. It makes no sense at all. He got knocked on his ass. Roman Josi ended up getting the game-winning goal because there was nobody in the net. Just a big mess. Like I don't know. What are you thinking? Just stay in the crease, buddy.
This is overtime too.
Yeah.
Like there's no
3 on
excuse
3.
for him to leave the crease.
Between Tristan Jarry, Stu Skinner, and Evan Bouchard, does any team have more calamitous mistakes than the Edmonton Oilers?
I mean, both teams.
You could say the Predators as well, but maybe when Georgiev was in San Jose, but oof.
Have you guys seen Skinner's stats over his last 5 or 6?
He's played
starts in
well the
Pittsburgh?
last few games, right?
He has.
We mentioned the Rangers earlier in the show, and I want to point out something specific from this week. In the 8-4 loss at home to Ottawa, Jonathan Quick gave up goal number 6 before Mike Sullivan decided he had enough, and he got replaced with Spencer Martin to a chorus of boos at Madison Square Garden. And funny enough, it was a milestone night for Jonathan Quick as it was his 800th start of his NHL career. And after giving up 6 goals on 17 shots, I don't think that he will be taking that milestone puck at all. So, yeah, the trainer can probably put it in his back pocket or whatever and used it for practice the next night. Ethan, what is your – I'm sorry.
No, just real quick. Crazy Jonathan Quick stat. 800 starts out of 819 games.
That's crazy.
That's
right.
insane.
Straight into the starter's net. That's crazy.
He has come on in relief less than 20 times in his career.
That's crazy.
Ethan, what is your fail?
Roy. This whole
You're gonna
thing
have to be quick here.
I know I got time. The whole thing with I know I don't have a lot of time, but I have time to fit in what I want to say. This whole thing with the White House, it just really stinks. It's very conflicting. You want to see your team celebrate their championship. You want to see their team, get to do the whole thing. But people have overreacted to the whole thing. The Panthers wore red ties because the Panthers' color is red. That's it. They wear red ties when they go to the Stanley Cup celebrations the last 2 years. They wore red ties when they go to the White House. They did not wear red ties to dress up like Trump. Okay? So all those people out there, my fail of the week is for the people that made a big deal out of this because this is their uniform. I know, Roy, you had a problem with the Panthers not being extremely uniform in their red tie look.
You got to wear blue suits, man. Blue is your secondary color. You got to wear blue suits. And there was a mishmash of black suits and blue suits in there. Got to be uniform. You are a team. No. And, yes, I mean, I hated the fact that they were there, but it's tradition.
So then wear
I don't know what to say other
wear
than
Their
that.
whole
gold
thing
suit.
is
Wear a tan suit.
Wear a tan suit.
Wear a tan
would be
suit
cool.
and piss everybody
Tan
off.
would
How
be
about
cool.
that?
Like
That would be
the
great.
winter classic pants and gloves. Wear tan suit, blue tie, red shirt. Boom, done. Panthers.
the whole thing was the fail of the week. Just the whole
entire
thing. It
thing.
stinks.
All right, if you are watching on DraftKings Network, check out our
I have a fail of
YouTube.
the week. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we don't have time for that. I'm sorry. But if you are watching on DraftKings Network, check out our YouTube channel because coming up next, we have Sean DePaz from What Chaos to talk about his Buffalo Sabres coming up. All right, before we get out of here, Rose apparently has something brewing for us here to close the show. What is it, Rose? I'm trying to get out of here.
Okay, first thing is I want to jump from a plane, so I need you guys to help me.
That's not happening with me.
I don't care.
But
give
you
me
don't care.
likes, give me whatever to find me a sponsor, and I'll jump from a plane and I'll give you hockey takes. I don't care whatever. And second of all, can you please put the camera on Roy? And can you please show what Claire just did? Look at that beauty.
Aww.
She's an artist, bro.
What an artist.
Wow. I didn't know there was color on that
The
telestrator.
hockey
There you
show.
go.
This is the Claire show.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So that's on audio. She used the telestrator to create artwork, and it's very beautiful.
Watch it on YouTube. Check it out.
Yeah, watch it on YouTube. Thank you to Gino and Jason. Thank you to Sean DePaz for joining us to talk about the Buffalo Sabres. Thank you to Claire Joy Bellamy, my daughter. Beautiful girl over there in the other studio. That's Ethan. That's Rose. That's David. I'm Roy. Go Canes. We'll see you next week.